Here is a tour of the lift at the old part of Bispebjerg Hospital in Copenhagen. This hospital is so big that one video is just too much, so it's separated into two parts. This part here deals with the buildings 1 to 11 and some additional historic service buildings. Now let's enter the hospital area through the main gate. The building with the gate is number 20. Let's go in it. There are some offices here and a really beautiful 1913 Titan lift which skips the ground floor. It was totally amazing to ride this treasure. Now to building 21 beside. This originally had a lift with doors on 3 sides and no inner doors, but hell no, they bought a one side up. Now it's just a lift with 2 doors. Still really nice, but nevertheless not the same. Ah well. Now to the hospital buildings. They are just so old. The lift in building 1 was under construction. Looks like they're replacing the lift here. Probably with a stainless steel cap. Oh gosh, I better don't start thinking about it. It just would make me cross. Now to building 2. The lift here is its original cap, but the doors have been replaced. Ah well. Now to a similar lift in building 3. And here is another similar lift in building 4. It must be so amazing back when they have been built. All these lifts are from 1912 and 1913 and are 100 years old. So amazing. Now to building 5, which has 2 lifts. First to the small Siemens lift. And here is another lift similar to the other ones, so let's do it short. Here is building 6. It also has 2 lifts, but the small lift here is much better. It is a beautiful tree lift without inner doors and stahl fixtures. Totally amazing. Let's ride it! And now here is another lift similar to the 100-year-old lifts we've recently been in. And now to the biggest part of the tour, building 7. This building has tons of lifts. First, here is a rather generic lift. I wonder if there was an old lift here before. Along a corridor was a nice small tree lift, but unfortunately with folding inner doors, it could be more worse since these inner doors are windowed. Not that bad. And now we come to an area with 5 tree lifts, and these lifts are totally different from each other, but all of these lifts have inner doors. Let's first ride the 2 big lifts. And now to the 3 lifts and right into the small lift which goes from basement to floor 3. This lift has an epic motor sound. It was much louder than the big lifts were. Strange. Now to the two big lifts. The mid lift doesn't stop at floor 3 and 4, but it goes to the basement. The right lift does go to floor 3 and 4, but not to the basement, which means that you need to change lifts if you want to ride from floor 4 to the basement. There were additional call buttons, which only call one of these lifts for that reason. Now into the corridor between the 3 and the 2 lifts, and here is another nice old 3 lift, but sadly also with folding inner doors. And on the other end of the corridor there was another, but smaller 3 lift. And guess what? Folding the doors again. Ah well. Let's go to the next passenger lift, which has a really nice advanced original motor which first starts at leveling speed and switches to full speed with a delay of around 1 second. This feeling was really amazing. And now there are 2 additional bed lifts, but they are derelict, and it seems there isn't even a cap in here anymore. They look like they weren't working in years. Ah well. Okay, now into building 8. This building has got the same sort of lift like in building 1 to 6, but they kept the swing doors here, which is way better as it fits the architecture so much better than the rather modern style automatic doors. And it also has the original 1950s Titan buttons. The swing door, even though it is old, does not look original. It looks like it is from the 50s or something. Building 9, where we will now go to, has a similar lift. Okay, let's head for building 10, where there is a really nice old lift apart from the added 3-speed stainless steel inner door, which was annoying. My first ride here was a dark ride since the cab light was broken. When I came back later, the light has been repaired. Let's head for building 11. There was a really nice MAN lift here, but it's now just been ruined. The modernization here was really hard, and apart from the door, it almost appears like a new lift for me. Ah, well. Okay, let's head for the service buildings, and the first one is building 30, where there is a kitchen in. At the entrance there is a really beautiful Thrige-TITAN lift without inner doors and glass above the swing doors, which is just so amazing since you can look out while moving. Totally classic. Now to the other end. Now this just looks like a dull standard lift, but in fact it is a really special lift as it has no inner doors and two doors over 90 degrees. The other door is a swing door, but it's motorized. Okay, we are not finished yet, 2 buildings remain. So first building 32. Here is a totally beautiful classic Titan lift without inner doors. Now to the other lift with windowless swing doors, and I've never seen a lift without inner doors being so narrow and big at the same time. I wonder if the cabs are rigid. It doesn't really look like, but the doors look old. One building to go. The first lift here is a fairly new 1990s one without inner doors, and it has an automatic shaft door in the basement. The next lift is another totally classic Titan lift. And now to the next lift, which is a rather new and dull lift. Ah well, it was full of items, there was no space for me here. So let's move to the next lift. This lift is rather similar, apart from it has really nice style fixtures.